Welcome to Squared Circle Jerks number 2.
Now get out.
It is May 18th, and we are doing the WWE stuff for this week, which will be Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, and NXT. I have my notes here. Byron does not have his notes because he is less professional than I am.
Correct.
But he is more entertaining, so.
Yeah. Also correct.
So we got to do
started
things.
Drinking booze, so.
Well, that's always the best option to go with.
A special Slurpee.
All right. Are you ready to start, Byron?
Yes.
All right, we're going to go.
We already had started.
Well, we started recording. I just mean the recaps. Are we ready to start the recaps?
Oh, I see.
Oh, actually, before we start that, new artwork this week. We have Captain Mondo, our good tank buddy, has prepared this little banner for us. Background info thing to put up while we're recording, so you see something more than my notepad notes and our team speak, which I think is generally preferred. Let us know what you think about that as a comparison to the rest one. We might make him do some stuff to change it up. Next week, we will have hopefully something to pimp of his to direct you to where you can find more of his artwork.
Indeed.
All right, so first up, we're off to Raw, and Raw opens up with basically the Fatal 5-Way promo. We have Roman Reigns, we got Samoa Joe, we got Finn Balor, we've got Seth Rollins, we've got Bray Wyatt. Personally, I didn't really like a lot of what was going on here. I liked Samoa Joe's bit. I thought his delivery was good and his material was good. Everyone else, I think I could have lived without. Roman Reigns was probably the low light, and this is not just Roman hate, but my problem with Roman here specifically is, he is supposed to be a face still. Like I'm not mistaken on that, right?
I just don't think they give a fuck anymore, to be honest and brutal in my language. They keep saying stuff like, I find it funny that everybody thinks we should turn Roman heel, but everybody boos him anyway, so he is a heel. They literally don't care. They don't care what you think or what your reaction is. They'll push him however they think they want to push him.
It's just the way people interact with him. It seems like, okay, he's supposed to be a face, so I'm using that as my premise. And my problem is that he comes out. He doesn't say, "I want the title shot." He doesn't say, "I'm the man for the job." He doesn't say, "Let me have my redemption with with Brock Lesnar." Although I guess there's really no redemption, but something like that, something face like. No. He comes out there and says, "You know that it should be me who fights Brock Lesnar at the pay-per-view, and I don't know why this Fatal 5-Way has to happen." Not in those words, but like, he sounds like Triple H during the Reign of Terror. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, this is not a face.
He basically came out and said, "It's me. You give the shot to me. I'm the guy. It's my yard. It's my title shot. I'm the guy. Me," which is a heel thing to do. That's it was some really lazy ass. It's like if somebody gave Chris Jericho from the 90s a boatload of horse tranquilizers, that's the promo he would give. Probably.
Or Triple H from the Reign of Terror. Like, yeah. It's not that of a fighting babyface or babyface heat. It's I'm an entitled brat. Samoa Joe cut more of a face promo despite being a heel.
He definitely brought the intensity. He got everybody's attention, but that's Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe, in that entire 5-way matchup, I think Samoa Joe's the only real professional wrestler. Finn Balor, a.k.a. Fergal Devitt, comes in second place. And everybody else just seems to be going through the paint-by-numbers motions, whereas Joe came down and Joe cut a goddamn promo. And he got people up and excited and ready, and then kind of was cut short.
I did like Finn pointing out that he is actually 1-0 against Roman. So, mind you, we're going to talk about that more at the end of the show and how it didn't really make any sense. But
yeah, I also want to say that during that promo, it didn't make any sense to me for when Angle was done his thing, he was going to go back up the ramp, and then Roman's music hits. It didn't make any sense for me to him to look. He looked hesitant and trepidatious, if you will. There's no reason for that to be a thing. Nobody wants Kurt Angle to be the GM who's afraid of wrestlers, and thus far he hasn't been. And there's no reason for him to be selling to Roman on that score either.
Well, there's no reason to sell to him even if he was the scaredy cat GM, because it's a fucking face.
Yeah.
Coming down the ramp, like it's like that's just another thing. Like the face is going to attack the GM.
Yeah.
That doesn't work unless it's Eric Bischoff.
Correct.
Also, just from a match logic standpoint, you have a Fatal 5-Way with more faces than heels in it. That's kind of dumb.
Well, yeah, but it's Samoa Joe, and he counts as like at least 3 heels in one.
I mean, I suppose, but I mean, even Bray Wyatt's kind of facious at this point.
Yeah. Oh, and well, I'll get to it later. I have a mental note about Bray Wyatt, but we'll get to that later.
All right. Then we had Roman, Seth, and Balor backstage. They're just basically bickering, which again, I'm not a fan of in faces. Like,
no,
like arguing you can do. Arguing you can completely do. Because obviously, I mean, like, you know, sell it like one face hits another face in a tag match, something like that. I mean, you can do arguing between the faces, but this was just came off as 3 girls arguing over who was prettier. And
my hair's the greasiest. No, my hair's the greasiest.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. So basically, we got Balor versus Roman, and we got Seth versus Bray. Perfectly good matches, just to throw that out there. Mm-hmm. Although this was kind of like the theme of the week, where like one guy would not have a match from like one guy would have a match on Raw or SmackDown or 205 Live. NXT didn't have this problem, but you would have a match, and then your opponent at the pay-per-view would not have a match, thus making it making it a very one-sided sell job of the match itself. And it came up here with Joe not having a match, despite being in that Fatal 5-Way.
Yeah, I would have given him some match against somebody.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand you
anyway, because he, you know, you can totally believe that Joe was completely fresh and like he could run rampaging all over everybody.
Like, I understand that you got an odd number of people, so it doesn't work out like great, but you could have like even just throw a squash match out there,
or maybe have a special guest referee as one of them as the tag match,
or a triple threat.
Yeah,
anything would have been slightly better than what actually ended up happening.
A 3-pack challenge.
Anything else to say about this part?
No, not about. That's about it. I think that was more needed to be said about that than really it warranted. But there was some nitpicky nonsense.
Probably true. All right, Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. So I really like the Sheamus Cesaro entrance. I'm just gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
WWE announcers should not talk about the Attitude Era when they're trying to, like with the Hardys, they're talking about nostalgia and they're like harkening back to the Attitude Era with even further by talking about Booker T and Stevie Ray. I wouldn't do that just because I don't think you want to contrast the current product to what is considered your golden age, because the product is not as good right now. Just kind of going with that, continue. There was a Harley Race shout out when Sheamus did a. Like, that's a little bit too old for the part of your for at least part of your audience.
Yeah, it's not gonna. There's nobody in that audience that they're marketing to that's gonna have even a half a clue who Harley Race is.
Pretty much. This was a perfectly fine match. It was good. I think. Probably I would have had Jeff Hardy on offense a little bit less, and I would have generally probably had Sheamus win, because you've got the Hardys facing off with Sheamus and Cesaro at the pay-per-view. You've have the fact that we've actually seen the Hardys beat Sheamus and Cesaro as a team, what, two times now?
Yeah, at least 2.
And now we've seen Jeff Hardy win a singles match against Sheamus. How am I supposed to believe that Sheamus and Cesaro are going to win?
Hello? Your mic went dead.
Is it good now?
I can hear you. If you might want to pause the recording.
All right, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, and we're back on Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Just to kind of recap what I said, just real quick. Match was fine. The nostalgia callbacks were a bit silly with talking about the Attitude Era and also Harley Race. And basically, Sheamus should have won to make me believe that the tag team titles could possibly change hands. For the record, this doesn't mean the tag team titles won't change hands, because
I can guarantee you they are going to change hands.
Yeah, but like looking at it from a logical standpoint, we've seen the champions win 2 tag matches and a singles match. There's not really any reason to believe they will.
And a ladders match.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the tag matches.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But yeah, it's again WWE doing their brutally predictable 50-50 booking, where if you lose going into the pay-per-view, that means you're going to win on the pay-per-view, and then therefore you really don't need to pay money to see that pay-per-view because you know what's going to happen. They always book themselves right into a hole. It's very strange, and I don't know why they do it. No one else does it. No one else on the planet does this.
They seem to do it with this idea that like you can't beat someone, but they will beat certain acts to like death. But it's like, and then you want to buy it. It's like Jinder Mahal's a good example of that, and even to a degree the Fashion Police with their current push. Where it's like, yeah, I mean, we've seen you lose so many times that I'm not saying I can't ever buy you as a contender, but right now I can't.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is they need to make contenders. They don't need to, like, they seem to be chasing this elusive, nonstop heroin dragon of the babyface overcoming all odds, but they want it to happen literally every single pay-per-view for every single babyface, unless, of course, they just don't know what they're doing with the storyline, in which case they'll book a stupid screw finish, or they'll just have the heel go over because the heel, because the heel.
Yeah. And again, the sort of heel commentary again bites it here, because after the match, Corey Graves is like telling us, the fans, I think Sheamus and Cesaro are more ready than ever to beat the Hardys after they've just lost clean.
Yeah, maybe more motivated than ever, but that's really not motivation doesn't seem to be a factor in today's wrestling for as far as WWE is concerned.
So it's like, so basically we had, perfectly acceptable match, wrong guy wins, and then the commentator lies to me. That's standard WWE right now. So after that, we had Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. Match was fine considering it's the Alicia Fox match. The split leg sunset flip that she uses is dumb because she does it, and I don't really think anyone could necessarily do it faster than a regular sunset flip, so this is not like even a knock on her. It's slower, and what is the advantage supposed to be? Like, what makes it better?
At least make it a split leg moonsault if you're going to do that. Do the RVD. It looks like $1 million, and you look like $1 million doing it.
Yeah, she probably actually could do that. She's very flexible, very athletic. My problems with Alicia Fox are not her ability to do moves, it's her ability to put together a story in a match.
Well, also one particular note, that Northern Light suplex of hers is dynamite.
No,
if there's going to be a second wrestler that you can have just a regular suplex be their finish, it's Tozawa and her. You could totally sell that as a finish.
Like I said, she does some very, like she'll have moments in every match she does where I'm like, this girl is really good. It's just she doesn't have the psychology of anything really.
Yeah. Well, they never let her in the ring.
Not even saying it's her fault. I'm just saying this is the problem of women's wrestling.
This is probably going to come up quite frequently with this particular batch of matches and storylines going into different pay-per-views. But she's kind of like that. This is just going to be footnote number one: is they never let her in the ring, so they screwed up the finish last week, and therefore they had to have another match this week because no one, like even blind grandmothers who were watching, could see that was ridiculous. And unfortunately, it's another in a long line of Sasha Banks screwed up finishes that she just doesn't pull the trigger on, or doesn't have the technique, or she's sloppy. I'm really not high on Sasha Banks. She has really great matches against Charlotte, but point out any other match she's in that's any good.
Bayley.
It's not. No, that one wasn't very good.
No, the NXT matches with Bayley I'm talking about.
Oh, I guess
The one since they've come up to the main roster was not good.
Yeah. So I don't know. It seems to be, she seems to be one of those wrestlers that only wrestles up to the ability of her opponent, and the rest of the time she borderline murders herself botching moves.
I do definitely have a lot of concerns about her longevity because she's been injured a fair bit, and that's kind of what I'm actually worried about her facing Alicia Fox for. Is Alicia Fox, she's been better about this, but she does have a history of botching and hurting people. I'm like, that's the last person I would put Sasha Banks in there with.
That's a fucking mess. That's hospital time waiting to happen. I will admit that I only, again, as previously stated, I only got back into wrestling a little over a year ago with WrestleMania 32, and I had heard the name Sasha Banks, but the only reason I had heard her name was because the other wrestling podcasts out there were all up in arms about, oh, Sasha Banks, where's Sasha Banks? Nobody knows anything, and it was all a big giant hype train. Oh, she's hurt. Oh, she's going to be injured for a while. Okay, cool. And then when she came back and they started having those series of matches against Charlotte, those were great. Great, great. I spelled that right? Yeah, good. Those were fantastic, and then watching her wrestle against other people even watching her wrestle against Charlotte, she botched at least 30% of her moves.
Yeah, she is botch heavy.
I thought she almost killed Charlotte once with the double knees in the corner. It was so horrendous, and that's supposed to be her signature. You need to make your signature really crisp and clean and good, and you need to not hurt people because no one's going to want to take that move on the signature move, the move you will be known for, is something you need to use on a regular basis, and no one's going to want to take that move if you botch it nonstop.
Anyways, just to get to the end of the match, Fox hit the scissors kick. She got the win. Booker T had a minor mark out moment, which he should. It's his move.
Got it right in the spine, though. Is that going to be the kick? Is across the back instead of across the back of the head? Probably.
That's what she's been doing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like the fact that Fox won because it means this feud continues, which we largely covered. Why I think that's probably bad. I think this is just a bad combination of girls, but. And you're not doing anything with Mickie James, and you're trying to do something with Alicia Fox. It's a little weird.
The title should be on Mickie James right now.
It would bring some legitimacy to it, although that would mean taking it off Alexa Bliss, who I'm pretty high on. So
that's also true. You could. Well, here's the deal: fantasy booking. Get Bayley out of that feud that doesn't make any sense right now because they're obviously not going to push her. They're not going to be pushing the babyface. So get Mickie James in there, who's got a history, has got veteran status.
Also has a bit of a built-in storyline with Alexa Bliss because it was Alexa that brought her back to SmackDown.
Exactly. But Alexa Bliss has got this giant bodyguard helper, and Mickie James just can't get the win. And you've got like Raven versus, in a microcosm, don't draw complete parallels, but you've got Funk versus Raven all over again.
Which would be great.
Would be great.
Although I would hope less bloody.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on, I'll let you lead off on this one because I think you'll have more to say about it. The IC title match, Ambrose versus Miz. Take it away, sir.
I was bored, pretty much. It was not a good match until the finish. It got to the point, right near the end, where Ambrose went up to the top and Miz was outside. And then Maurice came over to, play Human Shield. And eventually, at some point, Ambrose is like, I don't care. and he
See,
hooked himself up.
I actually dislike that spot because it took so long.
Yeah,
Ambrose is this
it did take too long.
lunatic asylum, you know,
He
crazy.
shouldn't be stopping and thinking.
He shouldn't be stopping. Like the idea of using Maurice as a shield should just be dangerous for Maurice. It should be like, well, if she wants to stand there.
Yeah, don't confront me nothing, as long as I get my rent paid on Friday. And he should have got up there. He should have done like, get out of the way, no, okay, and then jump.
Honestly, wouldn't even give the get out of the way, but I'm fine with like one get out of the way.
Yeah, he's a face. You got to give one get out of the way. But it was. I am not, and I'll be very clear about this, and I've been very clear in the past. Maybe only to Mio, but this might be something new to people listening. Is I don't like the Miz. I don't. He's got like, to me, he's got X-Pac heat. It's just that no one wants to see him. It's not that we're booing the heel. We just don't want him around. Other people have different opinions, and that's fine. But in my opinion, The Miz can't wrestle, not convincingly, and he can work a match, but like a singles run, I don't understand why they ever put the IC title on him more than once, let alone apparently he's going for his 6th championship now. 7th? He's already got 6? Okay.
He's got 6.
All right, so I don't understand that. I guess as a transitional champion, he's fine. But he can't sell a match to save his life. The best part of his career was having Sandow get him over, and his promos are very promo by numbers. Like, he's obviously got a few crib notes from the writers in the back, and he sticks to those, and that's it. I thought the best part of his career was the long-form vignettes he was doing on Cena, and then those got really boring after 2 weeks.
Well, there's only so much you can harp on the idea he's not going to marry you, Nikki. Like,
yeah. I mean, they were fine. They were reasonably funny, but really after about 2 weeks, I just wanted to see Cena's comeback, which was awesome. And but yeah, like the match itself for this week was very boring, and I barely remember any of it up until the finish, which I thought was really good. Ambrose blocked the low blow, caught the guy's wrist, and then kind of held on to it. I thought he was going to give him like a semi-rainmaker, but he just kind of hoofed the Miz in the nuts, and the ref DQ'd him right away. I don't think he should have. And then he protested vaguely, kind of half-heartedly, oh, no, what are you doing? And then he just grabbed his title and was the champion. He should have just grabbed the title and was the champion. Or give him a cartoony Italian-American, come on! Give him something like vaguely like, oh, come on, you don't want to DQ me, that kind of thing. But I thought that was weird, but I liked the sequence, just maybe not the total execution.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thing. It was like, I don't know why you're protesting. You did clearly just hoof him in the balls right in front of the ref.
That was good.
I don't know. I don't know. A couple of things I'll just add to it. The Miz running away from combat is old. He needs to stop throwing kicks because they are really bad. And like, it kind of worked when they were like teasing him and Daniel Bryan doing something. Like, we knew it wasn't going to happen, but the tease was there. That's gone. So stop with the Daniel Bryan style kicks. Yeah. Dean Ambrose really isn't into this promo or into this program. You could tell when he was throwing running lariats or running uppercuts, because normally when he does that, they're really good. These ones were like absolutely nothing. I will point out 2 good things, I guess, about this. I did like the countering the rebound lariat into a skull crushing finale. That was good. And
the rebound lariat takes way too long.
And Maurice is really hot, and she plays a great bitch on TV. So
true.
That's the positives I have.
Her French is barely believable. Come on.
Well, we'll get to that later. We had a Balor backstage promo. I don't have anything to say. It was fine.
Yeah,
perfectly serviceable.
I don't remember the substance, or I don't remember well, yeah, I don't remember the substance of the promo, but I remember it being, he's just too cool, and that's fine. I enjoy that part of his personality on camera. He's just like what does Graves describe him as? James Dean cool and John Wayne tough.
Yeah.
I think that's great. That is great and perfect, and you should just be selling him like that all day long, and you will sell a ton of merch. You could probably make Finn like Balor Club ladies underwear, and they'll fly off the shelves.
Now my problem here is that there was basically 3 promo segments in a row, which I'm never really a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Alexa Bliss in the ring, and this was pretty good. She called, New Jersey the sweat glands of America, which kind of would have made more sense if they were in more like central the United States, the manufacturing district kind of thing, but it worked.
She was going for stank.
The crowd, though, wasn't really into it. Don't really know what to say. She did react to the what chant, which is not something you should do unless you are the Undertaker. Only he can get away with that.
No, I enjoyed that. I actually really enjoyed that part because like losers say what, and they're like what, and then
I think it was failures say what,
something like that. Yeah. It was either losers or failures, and they're like what, and then the next what was just kind of maybe a third of the crowd instead of all of them. Like what?
Yeah, I'm still not really a fan. You got to learn to just ignore it to a degree.
Yeah, just talk over it until they're looking like idiots. I hate that chant. If there's one thing you could crucify Stone Cold Steve Austin for, it's that stupid fucking chant.
Yeah, I do hate that one. I'm gonna say something here though. State of your pop when Bayley comes out and it's that lukewarm. Like
it's the state of your federation. Totally stealing with it from OSW, by the way. But they don't know how to push faces. They don't have a fucking clue. They know how to push monster heels. That's evident up until the point where they don't.
Well, up until the point where they need the monster heel to lose, and then which you have to do. I mean, the monster heel is there to be beaten, but when you don't have a face we want to see beat the monster heel, what are you really doing?
Yeah.
Bayley needs to use less wordy promos. She's not good at remembering a big script. Just give her
a script and
give her
Again, it's a problem, and it's been a problem for what 20 years now. Vince employs like 98,000 writers, and it's a bunch of monkeys in a room, and eventually you get a script that doesn't make any sense because it's run through 90,000 different minds, and then Vince vetoes everything and tries to rewrite it himself in a broom closet somewhere 1 minute before the show. And stop giving people scripts. Give people talking points. Give it, okay, you need to say this, you need to say that, and you need to sell this to the crowd.
Script those that need it or can do it if you really need to do it, but there are some people that clearly don't do well with scripts. Yeah. Stop scripting them. Then we basically had Bayley kind of jump Alexa Bliss and then get beat up and smashed with a kendo stick, and that kind of killed the segment for me because I was kind of into it at that point, but I'm like, okay, so this segment is to, sell me Bayley versus Bliss for the pay-per-view. So we had Bayley jump the heel. So face jumped heel, got beat up, then got kendo sticked.
Yeah. I'm fine with her jumping the heel. It's
I'm fine with any of those individual pieces, but put the 3 together and it's like, so Bayley's not going to win? Or, well, to use WWE logic, Bayley will win, but it doesn't make any logical sense.
Exactly. I think the way they could have done it better is Bayley jumps heel, heel gets knocked outside, falls down at the bottom of the ring apron, discovers kendo stick. Bayley comes over to, after hyping the crowd a little bit, Bayley comes over to retrieve heel to administer more beatings, and then heel smashes in face with kendo stick, and then lays into her with more kendo stick.
Yeah, precisely.
Then you got something to go on.
Yeah, it's like you can't have the face start the fight, lose the fight, then get beat down with the kendo stick. Like it's like, so I really don't want to see this face succeed. Like, I still do because it's Bayley, but that is. I don't know if you could have booked that worse, to be honest.
In Bailey, you've got the female John Cena. You can have what you have now with John Cena in Bailey, but they're not pushing her. They're barely using her.
They're using her quite a bit, but yeah, they're not really letting her use her strengths, and
No.
it's
She
leading to problems.
she could be what she was in NXT, but their attitude on main roster is, well, we've got all of these people and we're selling so much merchandise anyway. Who cares?
So basically, bright side, liked Bliss's delivery and stuff, and her
Yeah.
facials and tone are great, especially when she goes from like uh, kind of patronizing praising to complete mean girl. It's a good
Yeah,
transition.
she's fantastic at improv.
Mm-hmm. Content was meh, but that's kind of standard for the course. And then the end was not good, and Bailey's portion of the promo was not good. So
Correct.
overall, I'd have to go with a down. Then we went to Angle and The Miz with the backstage segment. I really like Maurice cutting French promos, but let's not have Kurt Angle do French again.
I enjoyed the fact that it was so brutal, even I can understand it. I'd enjoyed that part, but I would have had, again, they're booking. They have Angle being the trepidatious office boy. Dude, you're supposed to be Kurt Angle.
To a degree, I get it because of how new on the job he is, kind of just back. I hope that this is like he grows out of this really quickly.
Yeah.
Then I can deal with it.
Yeah, it's just like there's no way, if it was a wrestling situation and The Miz got in your face, Kurt Angle would destroy him. Why in the hell aren't they selling it like, I'm Kurt Angle, I could take the suit off right now and kill you. Shut up and go away.
And then the Drifter came in and he drifted.
Yeah, I'm with Steve from Steve and Larson on this one. I just want to see him in the background. I don't want to like up in your face unless they're putting him in a storyline. Keep him in the background doing stuff like he's doing now.
Yeah, I hear good things about him as a wrestler, and he's got a good look. Good. But the Drifter gimmick, I'm not sure I'm really all behind.
If you want to see a good match, his blow off from NXT with Cassius Hero was pretty darn good.
True. Neville and TJP versus Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher. Take it away, sir.
Great match as always. Those guys never have bad matches. I don't have much to say other than that. The crowd wasn't into it because the crowd is basically told not to enjoy 205 Live. That's how that is. So basically, if a 205 Live or a Cruiserweight match comes on, what I would recommend is muting the crowd, muting everything, and just watch and enjoy the match. The crowd being dead or distracted or stupid and chanting dumbass things is, in my opinion, detrimental to my enjoyment of the match.
I'd agree with that. The match was good. The action was good. The psychology of working Aries' knee, and also that Neville didn't really want to face Aries. He preferred to have TJP do it.
Yep.
It's all good. I don't like headbutts, so every time Gallagher does a headbutt, there's that as a negative. But
I'm fine with him doing it. Like, he does it extremely well. He sells it like it's an actual headbutt, but not that it's... He sells it better than Benoit ever did. I'm going to put it that way.
Yeah, that's true. TJP pins Jack Gallagher after detonation kick. Heels get the win. Kind of sets up continuing the feud between Neville and Aries, with TJP as kind of a pawn in it. I'm good with it. Then we get to the a Bailey backstage bit. She's getting her shoulder iced from the kendo stick shot. Kurt Angle comes in, basically gives her a chance to just have a straight up match with Alexa Bliss at Extreme Rules. No Extreme Rules, nothing like that. Like a good babyface, she refuses. That's not fair. She wants to dish out the punishment back to Alexa Bliss, which would make sense if she had been beating up Bliss before the kendo stick, but okay, we'll move past that part. And basically we get a kendo stick on a pole match, which, you know what? It's a good use of the on the pole stipulation for a change.
Yeah, I really like the promo. I really like the interaction between the two. It's very evident that Bailey could be everything anybody could ever want in a face wrestler. She just needs more. She needs to be comfortable with herself, which it's going to take some time. She's young and a little, relatively speaking, a little inexperienced, and it's just going to take a little time for her to get comfortable. But the promo was good. The on a pole match caught me by surprise. I thought he would just
check the writers' room for Vince Russo.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Can confirm. But I thought the on a pole thing was weird. I thought it would just be a straight kendo stick match, which I'd enjoy. I've never seen Bailey in a hardcore match. I've never seen either of them in any kind of hardcore match. And yeah, it would be interesting to see who gets spanked first with the kendo stick. Not that I'm sexist, but I am. And I rather enjoyed the promo.
Yep, nothing wrong here. This is good. Like I said, if we go back to the earlier interactions between Bliss and Bailey, I got problems, but everything else is.
Mm-hmm.
We get a Golden Truth backstage segment, which kind of, in a nutshell, the truth is down about his performance. He's feeling bad. Goldie's trying to pump him up, and you could tell that he was going to turn on him. So a little spoiler there for later on in the show.
I actually didn't pick up on that.
I did.
I didn't pick up on that, and I've actually been enjoying. Last year when they were kind of, what's the term I'm looking for, courting each other and trying, because Goldust was desperately trying to get him to tag up with him after they'd been feuding for a while, and then Goldust wanted to make a tag team with him, and it took a while to get it together, and then they decided to be a tag team, and then things didn't happen. I've never been an R-Truth fan. I think he's very repetitive in the ring. He's obviously the worst rapper on the planet, short of like Mac Miller. But
I would say if you want to get an appreciation for Ron Killings, aka R-Truth, you have to watch him elsewhere. I really liked him when he's not in WWE, but WWE treats him as a character. Character. Caricature of a rapper.
Caricature?
There you go. Okay.
There you go. He's bad on the mic. He's horrible. I've seen his intros for TNA, or some of them. I've seen him in other places, and he's garbage on the mic. Never put a microphone in that guy's hand ever again. Put a fucking mask on him. Make him a luchador. Anything. He could probably be a great luchador. But he's garbage doing what he's doing, in my opinion. I had rather enjoyed the Pretty Ricky stuff because it was ridiculous and obviously something he was having a lot of fun with. And when people have a lot of fun with what they're doing, it's a lot more enjoyable.
In the end, though, the problem with this tag team just in general is, one, they've basically been treated as a jobber tag team, and two, it's Booker T and Goldust, but worse.
Yeah.
Moving on, we had Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. Take it away, Mr. Byron.
The wrong guy won.
I wouldn't say the wrong guy won.
They got Finn Balor back from injury, long-term injury, and they're trying to make us buy into a guy who loses to other top guys.
My problem with it was that, okay, Roman Reigns is injured. That's the big thing. He's all taped up, and then he sold for little bits, but not consistently.
He'd sell for 30 seconds, and then power bomb, overhand, whatever, giant strength move, blah blah blah. I'm going to give him props though for one thing. When he did the dive into the corner and smashed into that ring post, I was afraid for his life. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the engineering is on those LED panels. I don't know what kind of padding they've got or give they have. That was terrifying. I thought he legitimately had wrecked himself, but apparently not. So he did that really, really well. Took it like a champ. But if you have half your body taped up, you can't beat Finn Balor. That's the end of the story.
Well, you can't, especially if you're going to do that spot where you smash into the ring post and hurt yourself again. It's like, basically at the end of this, Roman Reigns with theoretically one arm
Mm-hmm.
One against Finn Balor heading into the 5-way. Again, relating back to the Jeff Hardy Sheamus stuff, why should I think Balor can win?
Exactly. That's a problem with the way they're booking Roman. They can't allow. I was actually watching the Wrestle Talk Ramble today, and Ollie did, or was it not Ollie? Luke Owens said that he's already lost once this month. You can't have him lose twice in 1 month. And I laughed, and then a little part of me died because he's not wrong. That's exactly how they're pushing him. Is he can't possibly lose, not fairly, which is garbage. There's nothing for him to do. If you go back and listen to our WrestleMania 33 preview, I said it then, his career's over. It's just, how long is it going to circle the drain? Because no one's going to buy him, not the way they're pushing him. His career is effectively over. And if they keep pushing him and they put the title on him, the title's over. Like, you can't do it the way they're doing it. It's not going to work, and no one's going to care.
Yep. We'll at some point have a video about Roman Reigns, because the thing is, like, I'm a fan of what he could do, and
oh yeah, he's great. Listen, Roman Reigns could be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but they don't give him good direction. They don't give him good promos. They book him wrong, and they make him wear the weird fucking chest protector. Dude, do you have any idea?
Speaking of the chest protector real quick, though, that was kind of the thing. Early in the match, Finn Balor started working his body with, like, kicks and punches, and I'm just going, I can't buy any of your selling because you're wearing a chest protector.
Exactly. If that dude took his shirt off one time in the ring, holy fuck, the female attendants would go through the roof. Unbelievable. What the dude, D'Lo Brown called, he wants his chest protector back.
Yeah, how'd that chest protector go for D'Lo Brown? Did he ever get anywhere? Do we remember D'Lo Brown as a great? I don't think so.
I always enjoyed D'Lo Brown. But
I really did, but he was a bit player in a very deep roster, in fairness. But even when the roster started thinning out, and he was on, like, Raw with Teddy Long as his manager, it's not like it got, like, it's not like even then he got pushed anywhere. Like,
yeah, he did a damn fine frog splash. I'm gonna say that right now. Which sold the chest protector.
Yeah.
But they can't. Roman. Also, this should have been the main event. This should not have been. What was it? The second to last, or was it the third from last?
We got a couple more. Third to last match.
So this should have been the main event, because literally everybody is hanging off of Finn Balor's nuts right now, and everybody wants to see Roman Reigns lose. Why was this not the main event? It doesn't make any sense at all. I got news for you.
Pretty much.
Now, I don't know if anybody knows this, but pro wrestling's predetermined, and you can do things the way you want.
Yep.
So do them right, you dumbasses.
Just to wrap it up on this match, because we're crapping on it, really, at this point. Roman spears Balor, gets the pin. One other thing, Michael Cole went and compared Brock Lesnar to a brawler, which, if you're an MMA fan, you're really aware is retarded, because he's not a brawler.
He's lost literally every brawling match he ever got into.
Yeah, he's a suplex machine. Stick with that. Like, that's his bit. We get double promos from Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins. It was all fine. I like the Kingslayer stuff from Seth. Yeah. Bray did his standard Bray Wyatt promo.
Yeah, I like Bray Wyatt. I think Bray Wyatt's probably the second or third best talker, depending on where you want to put Joe. And, you know, if anybody's got a personal favorite, you can throw them in the mix for like a top 3, top 4. But I honestly think they could have Undertaker 2.0 with Bray Wyatt. They just won't pull the trigger. or don't know what they're doing or don't know how to book or whatever. He is dynamite on the mic. And he works pretty well in the ring, but he obviously needs more kind of divergent training or experience or something. And he finishes a match. That dude finishes a match like nobody else. That guy is the best that I've seen at coming up with the last minute and a half of a match. Fantastic. Every single time he's in something I like. I'm mainly bored during the middle third of the match, but then towards the beginning and the end of the match is where that guy really shines. And Seth Rollins is just kind of wrestle by numbers, really annoying voice. I'm pretty bored with him too. I'm not as bored with him as I am with The Miz, but he's pretty boring.
I disagree with you on Seth, but that's a topic for another day, I think. We had a advertised match at the Golden Truth versus the Club, which basically was just Goldie turning on Truth and beating him down. And
yeah,
I will say, I would say this was reasonably well done in the sense that R-Truth had some really good facials during the beatdown. He sold that he was shocked and frankly hurt, not physically, but frankly hurt that his buddy had turned on him.
Yeah.
The crowd, however, reacted to this in the worst way possible. We got some "Thank you, Goldust" chants. We got a little bit of "Why Goldust," but it was a lot weaker than the "Thank you, Goldust" chants. The turn was really well done, like this segment, but the crowd reaction told you that it didn't matter. This could have been done perfectly, and it would not have mattered.
I gotta say, like I said earlier, I didn't see the heel turn coming. I saw their promo last week and it was pretty good, and they had a promo on this week and I was sort of half paying attention, and it seemed pretty good, and that's all I had a feeling for, and I didn't really pay that much attention to detail. I wasn't actually looking at their faces when things were going on. I obviously missed some cues there. But when they came out and then and again, I wasn't paying too much attention because they're just coming out. And I, of course, ignore Ron Killings and his horrendous rapping. So I was just waiting for the Club to come out. Meanwhile, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, how are they going to do this match? Because they're trying to book... They're sort of trying to book the Club slightly more than 50-50. They're getting at least 55-45 booking. So they're supposed to be real strong in Vince's estimation. And I'm just waiting for the Club to come out and trying to figure out how they're going to work this match, because they've been hyping up the Golden Truth as like they got to get their wins together. They got to go on a roll. They got to, get it together. And I'm like, oh, it's interesting that they're trying to push this team all of a sudden. And then out of the corner of my eye, I hear this and look over and Goldie's beating the crap out of Ron Killings with a microphone. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And I was very surprised, to the point where I'm wondering how surprised the crowd was versus bored. Like, I don't know if they were disinterested or if they were just really, really surprised. So that might explain their reaction.
Maybe. But, I mean, that's the thing, is if they're surprised, then you kind of have done something a little bit wrong and not giving the proper cues. And
I guess it depends on what you're going for.
And if they're bored, then that's even worse. But it was well done, so I'm interested to see where it goes. Hopefully, there's some reaction to this, because Justin Runnels deserves something.
It'll be interesting to see what happens next week when they come out, or somebody comes out. Like maybe if Ron comes out and there's a giant cheer for him, or a moderate cheer for him. Or Goldie comes out and there's a big, bunch of boos.
We had a throwaway match between Titus and Cass after this. Enzo and Cass did their usual thing. I enjoyed Titus actually mocking their stuff. That was good. I liked it. Might be the first thing I've liked for Titus on the election.
I did enjoy the interaction. I think they should definitely Cass and what's the other guy's name? Dave?
Titus?
That doesn't matter. No. I think Cass and Enzo need to do more of this. They need to be more interactive. They need to be less promo by numbers because even the New Age Outlaws, while they got over, I got 2 words for you, and that was actually a shorter and more to the point than the whole Cass Enzo promo thing. But I think if they can be more spontaneous and more interactive with their opponents in things like this, I think they'll be going a much further distance than their current trajectory.
I would agree. Other than that, the match itself was interesting because Titus got to overpower Cass, which we've not seen done before. Like we never have seen Cass kind of on the back foot really. For 2 really limited wrestlers and it being really a time eater, this was perfectly fine.
I like the fact that they're giving the Titus brand something to do.
Yeah.
And they're getting Apollo and Titus kind of closer in regards to he gave Enzo a jump kick. Therefore, he's defending a guy that maybe not a friend, but some sort of some sort of a mentor or something of that nature. Mm-hmm. So it will be interesting. I'm interested more about Apollo Crews in this whole mess versus really anybody else.
Yeah, he's the one that kind of needs to get back on track because Titus, 2 damaged goods to really do much with. Enzo, I just don't think there really is tremendously a lot there, and Cass will be fine because he's a big white dude.
Yeah, I think Enzo will probably be. See, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed about him. I think he could be really goddamn good in the ring, but they're painting him into a corner. Also, I think everybody's still scared about him taking a shot in the head. Ever since that incident with the ring rope.
Sure.
But I don't know if there's some evidence backstage that he's got a real issue with concussions, and this is why they're booking them the way they're booking them. I guess that's okay. But I would love to see Enzo and Cass seem to have a really great dynamic in regards to double team maneuvers, and they really need to develop those more and more and more and more. And if they're more interactive with their comedy thing, dude, I think again the sky's the limit. It's just that Vince again doesn't know how to push faces. They've been the hottest tag team. I'd say I don't know. You could. Depending on your particular point of view or sales metrics, it's either them or the New Day. Those 2 are the 2 biggest face tag teams in the last 20 years. And
probably.
Yeah, dude, and you got 1 on each show now. So fucking push Enzo and Cass. I just don't understand why they aren't pushing faces. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, their idea of pushing them is just, I don't know, kind of dumb. We had TJP and Neville backstage. I liked it. TJP wants his title shot. Neville's kind of sidestepping it without actually saying so. Yeah. He basically wants him to cripple Austin Aries first. It's good heel stuff.
Yeah, the only thing missing from this would be a mustache twirl from Neville. I need a little bit of supervillain in there. Other than that, he was dynamite in his delivery. Great on the mic. Is this heel run the first time anybody's really put a mic in front of him before? Because I knew about Pac. If anybody doesn't know about Neville, he used to be known as Pac. Is he the double rotation moonsault, or was that Ricochet?
He does do a double rotation moonsault. I think so does Ricochet, though. I think they both do it.
Yeah, I need to see some of that action. I need to see. Can we get Neville in a cage match and give him a little extra because I don't know if he does it anymore. I don't know if Vince just probably won't let him because Vince is a giant old man.
He's been much more limited as Neville than as Pac.
Yeah. So dude, WrestleMania cage match, double rotation moonsault finish. Come on, son.
Neville versus Ricochet at WrestleMania.
Oh, my desk just got 2 inches taller.
I think I broke him.
No, not just my desk.
Then we get the main event: Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins. First time these 2 have ever met, so there's some interesting stuff. I liked the match. Booker T is useless on commentary when he's talking about things like CrossFit.
True.
Just saying.
Although, isn't the CrossFit thing dead already? Like, it was a fad for about 2-3 years, and it's gone now.
So dead.
Awesome.
I mean, the action, it's really good. The action eventually spills to the outside. Joe comes in, attacks Seth Rollins. Saw that coming. Which goes back to the whole Joe has no match, so Joe's clearly going to assault Seth, so there's no real surprise to it. So Seth gets the win by DQ. My 3 kind of, call it negatives of the match is, could be better, but that's always the case. Seth Rollins was on offense too much for Bray Wyatt to be the Eater of Worlds monster. He needs to...
Yeah.
He needs to not necessarily win, but he needs to really beat you up. He needs to sell me his threat level because he's supposed to have it, like, clearly, but his record, his matches just in general, it's not there. So if Bray's going to be a monster, he just needs to be a monster, for lack of a better term. Like, you actually do know how to build monsters, so I don't know why they failed so badly with him.
I don't know. I think it's a symptom of the entire company. They seem to get guys to a certain point, and they're okay with it, and then that's it. Dolph Ziggler is a damn fine worker. We'll get to him and the SmackDown stuff. And he's pretty darn good on the mic. And the ladies like him, and the dudes like him, and yeah, that's it for him. I mean, he's had his title run, and that's fine now. He is where he is now, and that seems to be the overall theme of the booking in WWE. They'll get you to a certain point, and unless they're breaking into a new market, India, you're not going to get any kind of real push, even if you've got the crowd behind you, a la Zack Ryder.
Yep. And then the other thing is just, you know what? Anytime Bray Wyatt should have a match, there should be something that changes his opponent.
Yeah.
Like, this is The Undertaker 2.0. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily in the sense that he's an upgrade, just that he's newer.
Yeah.
And when you fought The Undertaker... When you faced The Undertaker, it didn't really matter if you won, you lost, if it was Raw, if it was a pay-per-view, if it was a proper thing, or if it was like a one-time deal. There was something different about you afterwards, and that never happens with Bray Wyatt, and that's why he lacks the proper mystique.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Orton, the king of the no-sell because I'm bored, just kind of eased away from the promo, even after getting even after losing. Just kind of threw it away on the next night, going, yeah, he didn't beat me, other people beat me. But yeah, no, I mean, I would stay away from the Forces of Darkness thing that they tried to do with The Undertaker, and it didn't get over. Mm-hmm. And people don't want that. They just want a big, not even big, but they just want, like, somebody evil. Everything is evil. They just want, like, an evil dude who, maybe there's some mystical thing about him, but you don't need to make it mystic. Just do that. Make him a little bit more than human. Make him a little bit better than the average. And then when you get somebody who gets a win over him, it means something.
Yeah, at this point, it's Bray Wyatt loses every program he's in. So why does a win over him mean anything?
He wins the promo war nonstop. He will beat your ass on the mic. And like I said, the last minute and a half of any Bray Wyatt match is a thing. And you need to be paying attention. But other than that, I don't know what to say about the way they book him, other than they're not doing it right. That's just kind of boiling it down into the very bare essence, is they're not doing it right.
Yep. Anyways, we get Bray Wyatt standing tall at the end of the show because he hits his sister Abigail on Joe and Seth Rollins, which means he's not winning at the pay-per-view.
Correct.
Somehow Finn Balor, who is booked probably the weakest of the 5, will probably win the pay-per-view.
It's either him or Joe. I don't see blowing your load this early and putting Reigns over to make him go up against Lesnar at Great Nut Balls of Fire. I can't believe that's a real thing. I don't know. Because Vince really wants to get Reigns over at fucking WrestleMania again. Again and again and again.
There would be nothing wrong with that if they did it right.
Correct. But they wanted to get him over at WrestleMania, which is in March or April or whatever the fuck. April from here. There's no point in, unless they're actually thinking long term, which would be a change, to set up some sort of thing now, get Roman the win at the next pay-per-view, so that when they go into the pay-per-view after that, that Brock Lesnar kicks the ever-loving nonsense out of him. I could use a lot of other words. And then that gives him something to chase and overcome. However, if I know Vince, he'll make Roman win the next pay-per-view, and then he'll win the title, and then he'll hold on to the title until like a week before WrestleMania, and then he'll lose it to Lesnar, who will then go into WrestleMania, and then he'll beat Lesnar again, and it won't make any sense.
Yep. So that's Raw. We're going to go on to SmackDown. And I'm going to cut this into 2 parts just because the videos are getting kind of long. So we'll split it up.
We're verbose motherfuckers.